Hello, what's up? This is JSank, and today we're going to talk about what a lot of people have been talking about, and I wanted to give my opinion in official format, which in today's day and age is on YouTube. Is Eve dying? And I have my own opinion about this, which I have voiced on several forums. Recently, CCP has made many changes to EVE Online, which some players would find to be appalling. These recent changes basically are bad for veteran players, and the aim for these changes are to attract new players to the game. However, I think at the current state of EVE Online, the changes that CCP are making are underperforming in gathering and retaining new players, and at the same time are bad for veteran players. CCP has to bring back the veteran players and get rid of this idea that the game needs to be easier to attract new players. This game grew from obscurity by being one of the most hardcore games on the market, and it needs to stay that way. But is Eve dying? Well, that depends on who you ask. If you ask me, I would say that it needs to go to the hospital and get a suppository of hardcore injection. For my first year and a half, I followed the rules, waited for my skill training, grinded up standing, so one day I could have a reward that only someone who ground standings for weeks and weeks on end would be able to refine at a station at 100%. I did accomplish this goal after many months. Then, one day, out of the blue, CCP pulled that accomplishment out from under me. They changed the standing rules so that now I only got 35% refined. Is that fair? No, it's not. After that, I still had goals in EVE Online. I then wished to put up a high-sec POS. For that, you need 8.0 standing, or at that time you needed 8.0 standing, which was a bitch to get. There was so much grinding, and it had to be done. I was at 7.5 standing with the MAR when CCP again made putting up a POS in high-sec free of standing requirements. Do you know why? It was because new players didn't want to do the grind. Basically, they were not willing to pay to do that grind. Then so it was that putting a high-sec POS was free. This cascaded into a spiral, as there was no longer a need to put a high-sec POS because now everyone could access research from day one. Now everyone can produce T1 ships. Why bother producing T1 ships on zero margin when everyone can produce them anyways? The answer: leave it up to the nullcats and pay Vegeta ship for prices. Don't bother to produce. Don't even get me started on the jump clones. I understand that probably 98% of people get their jump clones from their buddy Roricle pilots. I know I did. So is this problem right? You should be able to get at a station, but the faction standing is a huge grind. Is that really a good mechanic? Not really. What does CCP do though? Do they lower faction standing requirements to a reasonable level? No. They do a typical CCP overreaction. Instead of stepping down the requirements by say 2 to 3 faction standing points, they simply eliminate faction standing requirement. Is that fair to the people who actually did the work? No. I would agree with few points less faction standing. Step it down over the course of a few patches, gauge the player base, See what they say when you lower it from 8 to 6. Don't just rip all that hard work out away overnight. This is a typical CCP shock treatment that they apply to everything. Now, if you ask my buddy who only played a month ago, he absolutely loves that he can research blueprints, saying the barrier to entry has been broken. When I tell him that he can put up a high-sec POS, he probably will do that. When I say, hey, train Infomorph Psychology to level 4 and get yourself a jump clone, he will say, okay, Tiraj, that sounds like good advice, because you're a vet and you know what you're talking about. He knows not the old ways and enjoys the game in its current form. The problem is they are not attracting those players fast enough, and they are losing old players very quickly. This is all due to CCP's recent shock treatment therapy they have been applying to the game recently. So now we are in a pickle, with the vets yearning for old way and quitting in droves, and the new players embracing the new way very slowly. What are we as a community to do? The answer is put up your shiny citadels. Name it Blank's Fanciful Palace of Awesome, or whatever you want to name it. Play the game and suck it up. Find a new way to dominate New Eden. If you're leaving the game, make sure to contract me your stuff. You can address it to Tiraj Ognatus. I'm sure the goons have already set up a mailbox for their quitting members and for donations. I strive to be on EVE Online the day the servers go dark. It will be a very sad day, but hopefully it will not come too soon, because I still have goals I want to accomplish in the game, and after 3 years of play I haven't accomplished all of them yet. So expect me to be playing EVE Online, and every once in a while I will put out a video of my progress. And once the game is done, and the servers go dark, and the pilots no longer fly the skies of New Eden, I, Tiraj Ognatus, will have a chronicle of the best times that I've ever had in video gaming. And I will try to tell people of the times whenever I flew the skies of New Eden. So I will enjoy it while it lasts. Until next time, this is J-Stank, signing out.